Invincible didn't just end Season 4 with a twist. It quietly set up one of the darkest decisions in the entire series. A decision where the hero might have to become the villain. A moment where saving the universe could mean killing Mark Grayson, Nolan Grayson, and every Viltrumite on Earth. And the scariest part? It actually makes sense. Because hidden inside that mid-credit scene is a setup so dangerous, so morally broken that it forces one question you can't escape. If you had the chance to end the Viltrumites forever, would you do it even if it meant killing the people you trust most? That's the real story Invincible is telling now. Not just about power or war or survival, but about the cost of peace. And at the center of it all is Alan the alien. Before we break this down fully, here's the quick reality of what Season 4 just set up. Alan becomes the new leader of the Coalition of Planets after Thaedus' death. But along with that leadership comes a final contingency, an encrypted message urging him to use the Scourge Virus, the single deadliest weapon ever created against the Viltrumites. A virus that once wiped out over 99% of their species, and now exists in an even lethal form. With the remaining Viltrumites increasingly tied to Earth, Alan is being pushed toward a horrifying decision: activate the virus and end the threat forever, or refuse and risk everything. That's the situation. Now, let's talk about why it's so terrifying. The Scourge Virus isn't just a weapon, it's a line you don't come back from. When it was first used, it didn't weaken the Viltrumite Empire, it nearly erased it. Entire bloodlines gone, civilizations collapsed overnight. It was genocide on a scale that reshaped the balance of power in the universe. But here's the part that changes how you should see it. Even after losing 99% of their population, the Viltrumites didn't disappear. They adapted. They became more focused, more controlled, and in many ways more dangerous under leaders like Thrag. So the original virus didn't solve the problem, it refined it. And that's exactly why Thaedus went further. Thaedus wasn't some hopeful idealist trying to teach the Viltrumites a lesson. He was a strategist who had already crossed the line once and understood that half measures don't work against an empire like this. So he created something worse, a version of the Scourge Virus designed not to weaken, but to finish the job. No survivors, no rebuilding, no second chance. And unlike before, this version doesn't just target pure Viltrumites, it targets anyone with Viltrumite DNA. That includes Mark, that includes Nolan, that includes Oliver. Which means this is no longer a weapon against enemies, it's a weapon against people we care about. Now, here's where the show becomes brutal. Because from a purely strategic perspective, Thaedus might be right. Think about the current situation. The Viltrumites are no longer scattered across the galaxy. Through Mark's deal and shifting alliances, more of them are becoming connected to Earth. That turns Earth into something it has never been before, a centralized point of vulnerability. And in war, concentration creates opportunity. For the first time, the remaining Viltrumites could potentially be wiped out in a single move. One planet, one decision, one trigger. That's not just the plan, that's the cleanest shot the Coalition will ever have. But the problem is, the person holding that trigger isn't Thaedus, it's Alan. And Alan is the worst possible person to make this decision, because he actually cares. Alan isn't driven by fear or revenge. He's one of the only characters in Invincible who genuinely believes people can change. He believed in Nolan when no one else did. He stood by Mark not because it was politically smart, but because it was right. He's seen Viltrumites evolve. He's seen them question their own empire. So asking Alan to use the Scourge Virus isn't just asking him to make a hard call. It's asking him to destroy the very proof that change is possible. Now, put yourself in his position. If Alan refuses to use the virus, what happens? The Viltrumites live. And maybe Mark leads them toward peace. Maybe Nolan continues his redemption. Maybe the Empire slowly becomes something different. But there's no guarantee. Because history says otherwise. Viltrumite culture is built on domination. It took near extinction just to slow them down, and even then, they didn't surrender. They adapted. So by not using the virus, Alan is gambling the entire universe on hope, and hope is not a strategy. But if he does use it, he wins. The Viltrumites are gone. The greatest threat in the universe is erased. Entire civilizations are safe. Billions of lives are saved. But at what cost? Mark dies. Nolan dies. Oliver dies. Every hybrid, every future possibility, every chance at redemption, gone in an instant. And Alan becomes the man who made that choice. This is where Invincible flips the script on what it means to be a hero. Because usually the right choice is clear. Save lives, stop the threat, protect the innocent. But here, every option is wrong. If Alan does nothing, people die in the future. If he acts, he kills people in the present. There is no clean version of this story. Only consequences. And the pressure on him is going to be unbearable. The coalition of planets isn't filled with people like Alan. It's filled with survivors, leaders who have watched their worlds burn under Viltrumite rule. To them, this isn't a moral dilemma. It's a delayed execution. They will push him. They will remind him of every planet destroyed, every life lost, every failure to act. And eventually, they'll ask the question Alan doesn't want to answer. How many lives are Mark, Nolan, and Oliver worth? But here's the twist that makes this even darker. The show is setting up a scenario where Alan doesn't choose this because he wants to. He chooses it because he feels like he has no other option. And that's what makes it terrifying. Because the most dangerous version of a hero isn't the one who wants power. It's the one who feels forced to use it. There's also something deeper happening here, something Invincible has been building toward from the beginning. The idea that power doesn't corrupt instantly. It erodes you, slowly, decision by decision, justification by justification. Thaedus didn't start as someone willing to commit genocide. He became that person over time, through war, loss, and impossible choices. And now, Thaedus is standing at the exact same crossroads. The difference is, we're watching it happen in real time. So the real question isn't whether the Scourge Virus will be used. It's whether Alan can hold on to who he is while holding that kind of power. Because once you make a decision like that, you don't go back. You don't get redemption. You don't get a second chance. You become the man who decided who lives and who doesn't. And that's why this setup is so powerful, because it forces you to confront the same choice. Be honest. If you were Alan, what would you do? Would you protect your friends knowing the risk they represent, or would you end the threat forever knowing exactly who you're sacrificing? There's no easy answer, and that's exactly why this might become one of the most unforgettable moments in Invincible. Because the next war isn't just coming, it's already here. And it's not being fought between the Coalition and the Viltrumites. It's being fought inside Alan, between the person he is and the decision he might have to make. And if he loses that battle, then the universe might be saved. But everything that made it worth saving won't be.